station of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
After a much-needed day off yesterday, the Tigers are back to work tonight. Miguel Cabrera and Victor Martinez welcome into Miami Marlins. Giancarlo Stanton is here, and so is Martin Prado. It is game one in this two-game series featuring the Tigers and the Marlins. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, glad to have you with us tonight. Glad to welcome in Jack Morris back to the Tigers booth. And Jack, with the deadline now coming up as far as the All-Star break, Tigers running out of games here to get to the break, and really the best way to talk about this Tiger team this year has to be a roller coaster ride.
It really is. You know, they've been up and down. They'll win 5, lose 5, win 4, lose 4, something like that, and playing 500 balls is not going to get it done. The Tigers are going to have to find a better way to start winning series, and I think that's the best way to describe it. If you start winning series, you're going to win more games than you lose, and you're going to start climbing in that win column. The Cleveland Indians are just kind of running away with this division right now, and I think it's due to their starting pitching, but the Tigers are still in it. When you're in the hunt until All-Star break, you've got to find a way to start accelerating.
All right, let's talk about this Marlins team. They have some star power. We talked about Giancarlo Stanton. Ichiro's on this team, Christian Yelich, but when you look at one guy that's really had a really good year this year, Marcell Ozuna.
He really has, and you know, it's kind of a nice story to see him bounce back. 10 home runs last year. He's already got 16 this year, and he's a guy that has really learned a lot, I think, from their new hitting coach. Barry Bonds has showed him a lot of patience at the plate. He's kind of given him an idea of a plan of attack, and the results have started to show for him. I know Don Mattingly, talking to him a couple weeks ago, really thinks highly of this guy.
Marcell Ozuna smack dab in the middle of the lineup for the Marlins here tonight as the Tigers get ready to get back to work here this evening after a day off yesterday. After a short break, we'll send you back to the Coliseum Studios. Check in with Chris and Keith. But coming up tonight, game one in this two-game interleague series, Marlins, Tigers, and it's coming up next on Fox Sports Detroit. activity for baseball tonight. The Marlins are in town for the first of two. It is a cool, clear evening tonight here at the ballpark. And the field conditions are presented by Ace Hardware and the Scotts Company. 67 degrees at game time. A little bit cloudy here at the ballpark, but no rain is forecast. And that is a good thing tonight as the Tigers prepare to take on the Miami Marlins. Ichiro Suzuki is in town wearing Miami colors these days. Here is the starting lineup for the Marlins, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. It'll be Ichiro at the top, followed by Martin Prado and Christian Yelich. Ichiro, career against the Tigers, good numbers. Ozuna, Stanton, and Bohr in the middle of their lineup. Dietrich, Realmuto, and Adeiny Echeverria in the bottom three for the Miami Marlins. And on the mound tonight is Mike Pelfrey, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
There's the numbers from Mike Pelfrey this year. He's coming off a pretty good stint in the bullpen where he threw 4.1 shutout innings, only 3 hits allowed in his last time on the mound. He's going to get another start here tonight. That'll be number 15 for him this year. Let's take a look at Tigers starting defense presented by Beaumont Health. Dustin Upton in left field. Cameron Maben in center, and Mike Avila's out in right. Castellanos, Iglesias, Kinsler, and Cabrera around the infield. James McCann doing the catching, and there's Mike Pelfrey on the mound.
So the Tigers trying to shake off the effects of a 3-game sweep at the hands of the Cleveland Indians. They have a 2-gamer here against the Marlins. Then it's on the road as we head up to the All-Star break this year. And here's a guy who is an ageless wonder at 42 years of age. He's batting .336. Ichiro stepping in.
Remarkable year so far for Ichiro. No question that he's going to get his 3,000th hit here in the United States in the major leagues this year.
And he'll get things started tonight for the Marlins. Here's the first pitch of tonight's ball game. Pelfrey delivers a strike to Ichiro. 336, no homers. Here's how they play him defensively. At the cut of the grass is Castellanos at third. He'll slap that one back out of play on 2. It is a very signature type swing that Ichiro has. His plate at the approach at the plate really has not been copied by too many.
Ichiro's a guy that used to steal a lot of bases, and he still has remarkable speed considering his age. But Castellanos has to play in a little bit, try to take away the thought of him bunting. Never really had any shift on Ichiro because he can spray the ball all around, even though he's running out of the box with his crazy sort of approach.
Well, the one thing about Ichiro is you still watch him take batting practice, Jack, and he's still hitting the ball deep into the seats as well.
It's amazing. He really truly is a Hall of Famer to be, and an amazing athlete. All these years, his body hasn't hardly changed at all. In fact, if anything, he looks a little thinner now than he did when he came into the big leagues.
I would agree. Pelfrey missing outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And he's got a whole entourage of media following him, representing his home country of Japan.
It's been that way, and since he came to the big leagues back in 2001, the media throng from Japan may have thinned out over the years, but still they follow him religiously.
Well, I'm sure they're really paying particular attention right now because he's approaching that 3,000 hit mark here in the U.S.
2 balls and 2 strikes on the Marlins leadoff man Ichiro. Little pop up left side of the infield, routine for Castellanos. 1 gone.
Mike Pelfrey running a fastball in there, jammed him a little bit.
Big start for Pelfrey. He came out of the bullpen in his last outing and was really good. That was Friday against the Indians, 4 1/3 in relief, and hopefully more of the same here tonight. He allowed only 3 hits in that relief stint. Here is Martin Prado. He'll look at a strike, 0-1. Prado having a pretty good year, 312. He's knocked in 26 and leads his ball club with 88 hits this year. Bouncing ball to third. Tough hop. Castellanos can't make the play. And the Marlins have their first base runner of the night.
Well, Nick got kind of caught in between here. He didn't know whether to go forward and attack the ball or let the ball play him. It ended up being the second of the two. The ball kind of played him. He couldn't get the glove on the ball.
Well, goes an error on Castellanos, C5 on the play. And it brings up Christian Yelich. It's a Marlins team that is coming off a homestand in which they hit the ball pretty well. I mean, everybody pretty much in the top of their lineup, hitting over 300 for the year. And many of them had very good homestands. There's a strike called on Yelich.
I think this young Marlin team is starting to really get attention. They've played very good lately, beating the Cubs in the most recent homestand.
And Jose Fernandez pitched their last game on Sunday, and he was dominating, so it's good the Tigers will miss him here in this two-game series. Yelich sends a ground ball to short. That should be two. Iglesias, Kinsler on to first to double play. 6-4-3 to end the top of the first. Start things off for the Tigers. Their lineup presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Kinsler 5 for 11 against Miami this year, leading it off. Then Maben and Cabrera, Martinez, Castellanos, Upton in the middle of the lineup. Bottom three tonight: McCann, Aviles, and Jose Iglesias. They are facing the left-handed slants of Adam Conley.
Yeah, for those not familiar with Conley, he reminds me a lot of Chris Sale for the Chicago White Sox. There's his numbers. He's making his 15th start this year, coming off a very good outing in which he pitched 8 innings his last time out, a career high.
So Conley will go to work against the Tigers offense that is trying to find some consistency. He and Kinsler will get things started. Kinsler had, to this point, 6 hits on the homestand. Was quieted in that series by Cleveland. There's a ball outside. Of course, most of the Tigers' bats were quieted by the trio of pitchers they saw against the Indians. Ian looks at a strike on the outer edge. 1-1.
Well, I could spend 15 minutes talking about that series, but the bottom line is Detroit's going to get their number eventually. They've got a few more games with Cleveland. They're going to have to make up for those tough games they've lost so far.
Well, you would think so. And the next 3, of course, coming up on the next road trip in Cleveland. But to be down 0-9 against one team in a season series, especially when they're the first place team. That's the team you've got to beat. No doubt. There's a swing and a miss, and down goes Kinsler. A strikeout for Conley.
Let's take a look at the Marlins starting defense, brought to you by Tim Hortons. And you can see Christian Yelich is out in left field. Marcell Ozuna in center. Ichiro, forever a right fielder. Prado, Echeverria, Dietrich, and Bohr around the infield. J.D. Realmuto is catching. And the left-hander Adam Conley, and already you can probably see the similarities between Chris Sale. He's got a very similar delivery. Doesn't drop down quite as much, but he's been tough.
Lots of knees and elbows coming your way from Conley. Cameron Maybin has hit safely in his last 3. Still a very healthy batting average, .346. And Cameron pretty much has settled into that 2 spot in the lineup now for the Tigers. The 0-2 is strike 3 called, and Conley carves up Maybin.
Well, Maybin not real happy, but let's take a look at that last pitch. You can see by Fox Tracks that it is in the strike zone. It was caught a little funny by Realmuto, I should say.
Well, Maybin's still not buying it. He is shaking his head going back to the bench. But it appeared to be a good call by Jim Wolf. So with 2 outs here is Miguel Cabrera. He waves and misses 0-1. Conley doesn't mess around, man. He gets it, gets his sign, and throws it.
He's got a very quick pace, and the defense, of course, loves that. You love to see a guy getting his sign quickly and delivering that ball. It keeps you on your toes.
25 years of age. Redmond, Washington. 1 ball, 1 strike on Cabrera. Good pitch on the outer edge. Now there's some jawing going on from the Tigers dugout with Jim Wolf. That's why.
Yeah, you usually don't see that from the veteran super great hitter that Miguel Cabrera has been. He usually will get the benefit of the doubt. Young pitchers rarely get that.
Up high as Cabrera spins out of the box. 2-2. Tigers trying to get Miggy going. He has had a slow homestand. Just 5 hits on this homestand. Here's the 2-2. And he got him, strike 3. Conley strikes out the side here in the first. Here at the ballpark tonight, Tigers and Marlins opening up a 2-game set. Marcelo Osuna leads it off for Miami and looks at ball 1 from Mike Pelfrey. Osuna, Giancarlo Stanton, and Justin Bour coming up for the Marlins. Ground ball back up the middle. Iglesias just can't get it under his glove for a base hit. Leadoff man on, and that is the first hit for the Marlins in this game.
First hit of the ball game, and a little jam shot there. The ball was not squared up perfectly, but strong enough. Ozuna is able to drive it up the middle. If you look at Mike Pelfrey's numbers for the entire year, you realize the one problem, the one issue is why he's started out 1-7. In 80 innings of work coming into this game, he's given up 106 hits.
Whoa.
And you know, you had a few bad breaks. Of course, he hasn't had a great amount of run support, but way too many. You want that number to be at least only 1 an inning or less.
Stanton looks at a strike 1-1. Well, he got his 17th double play of the year back in the first, so that has been one saving grace at times this year. His ability to get the ground ball. Giancarlo Stanton batting .220 overall. However, he has been hot. .371 in his last 9. Way outside, 2-1.
And Pelfrey's going to pitch him very cautiously. He's a guy that with one swing can put you up by 2 right now with a runner on first. Even though he's had a tough start to his season, Giancarlo Stanton, one of the most power hitters in the league.
Ooh, that's drilled to center field. Maben going back, looking up, and it's in the bushes to dead center field. And right on cue, Giancarlo Stanton has put the Marlins up by 2. Well, a laser.
Yeah, good example of the power that Stanton has. Just a line drive, straightaway center. Let's take a look at the pitch by pitch here. Mike Pelfrey starts him up with a fastball up and then a fastball away. That one way outside. He's got to come in here and right in the whooping zone. Fastball belt high. And Stanton, wow.
I'm not sure I've seen a ball go out to center field in this ballpark that quickly. A lot of times Cabrera will hit those towering home runs to center field, but that thing got out at 110 miles an hour.
Yeah, and he's among the leaders in all of baseball on hit speed. And I don't know if that's an important stat or not, but when he does hit it, it jumps in a hurry. And that was a great example. Line drive. Take a look right there. He leads all of baseball in average hit speed.
The 0-2 is outside to Justin Bour. Bour is 3rd on that list, and he already has hit 14 homers this year, 3 in his last 4 games. Ripped to center field. That's going to be a base hit for Justin Bour. 3 straight hits greeting Mike Pelfrey here in the second.
Another issue with Mike Pelfrey, and I consider him a friend. I've known Mike in his years with the Twins. And Mario, I think you'd agree with me. Very few guys in the game that are nicer, genuine people than Mike Pelfrey. All right, let's forget about his personality. Let's talk about his pitching. He cannot limit the damage. He has so much trouble, and he really will start stalling now. The pace of the game will really slow after giving up a bunch of hits.
There's another one, a single the opposite way for Derek Dietrich.
He just has a tough time of making a pitch that, you know, can contain. He needs a ground ball at somebody, and somehow balls start elevating. He gets the ball up a little bit, and they just come in big numbers. And before he can even catch his breath, sometimes he's put up a bunch of crooked numbers, and it's kind of a repetitive thing for him. I can't really even explain it. I've watched this game for years, and I look at his stuff and I say, look, this is plus major league stuff. He's got a 90+ mile-an-hour fastball. He's got a good split finger, but the command isn't there, and he starts nibbling a little too much once he gets behind in situations like this.
And that's why the outing out of the bullpen was something that Tigers fans looked to and said, all right, maybe he's got himself straightened out. 4 1/3, 3 hits, no runs his last time out. But early on in this one, a 2-run homer by Stanton, and now 4 hits allowed here in the second. And Pelfrey facing JT Realmuto.
I think one of the biggest problems for Mike is he has never really had command of an off-speed pitch, and a lot of his pitches are similar speeds. Took a little off right there.
0-2. Realmuto batting .302. 24 pitches already now for the right-hander Pelfrey. Nobody out here in the second. That's way high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The home run, by the way, for Stanton traveled 442 feet.
On a line.
On a line, right. Echeverria waiting on deck. Now the 1-2. Good block there by McCann. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Now there's the split finger that Mike Pelfrey throws, and he tries to get Realmuto to chase, but not really tempted enough because it's out of the zone too quickly.
Pelfrey is 1-9 career against the Marlins. His 1 win was his first major league start back in '06 with the New York Mets. There's a throw, and it's a close play at second. Kinsler got in there, and they almost got Bohr.
That was close.
Two and two. Realmuto sends a ground ball to the right side. Kinsler has it, and the throw to first not going to be in time as Pelfrey couldn't get there in time, and the bases are loaded.
This is just another mental mistake by Mike Pelfrey. He did not react to the ball hit to his left. Miguel Cabrera has to go for it. You can see him break. Kinsler breaks because he doesn't know if it's going to get by Miguel. And Mike Pelfrey just waits that fraction of a second to start running towards first base. You can see him hesitate there, but it's too late. It's just too late to get there, and it's going to be a base hit all the way.
That is 5 straight hits now for the Marlins here in the second. They already lead 2-0. And Rich Dubé has made an early visit to the mound. Started promisingly with a double play ball off the bat of Yelich to end a very quick first inning, but a much different story here in the second.
Well, 2 of these hits have found their way through the infield. That one right there by JT Realmuto, kind of a CNI base hit, but that's again part of the problem.
Yeah, and it gets back to your point, Jack, about being able to get the double play ball. However, it's got to be hit at someone. Bohr, Dietrich, and Realmuto, the base runners. Echeverria looks at a strike, 0-1. Echeverria batting .235. He has homered 3 times this year. Pelfrey's 0-1. Sliced on the ground at first. Mingy comes home. They get one there. Relayed at first. There's a double play. Oh, the Tigers needed that.
Well, did they ever? And what a good play it was. Miguel coming home quickly because he's trying to prevent an extra run. You see that he reacts to the ball quick, and he had no hesitation. Comes right to McCann. McCann, nice throw on the inside part. And Echeverria, he runs fairly well, but that was a solid double play. Hopefully now Mike Pelfrey can get out of this.
That is the 18th double play turned behind Pelfrey, and now here is Ichiro with 2 outs and 2 on. There's a ball inside to Ichiro as he bends out of the way. So finally a ball that doesn't find a hole, and the Tigers turn 2. And Pelfrey now with a chance to limit the damage here in the second. Ichiro steps away from a ball inside. 2-0 the count.
Well, there it is, Mike Pelfrey among the league leaders in double plays induced, and that's gotten him out of even more of a mess.
Down the middle it comes, strike 1. Ichiro earlier this year stole his 500th base to go with a career that probably is going to end with over 3,000 major league hits. Outside, 3 balls and 1 strike.
There is a base open. Martin Prado on deck. Mike Pelfrey's really kind of got to choose his enemy right here, whether he wants to give Ichiro a cookie. You just really hate to do that, but then again, you don't want bases loaded again.
Ground ball to first. Miggy has it there, and that's going to end the inning. Minimal damage done. The 2-run homer by Stanton has given the Marlins the lead. Brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. And by Dodge. Come discover great deals during the Dodge Drive and Discover event. Hey, by the way, stay tuned to Tigers Live following the game. We select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game. Presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites. Now being served all day. It'll be Victor Martinez to lead things off against Adam Conley, who had a snappy 1-2-3 first. He struck out the side in the first inning. And a strike called on Victor.
Well, we already mentioned it. Conley likes to work quickly. And Victor, the one guy that can slow the pace of the game down for the pitcher.
1 ball, 1 strike. Martinez 7 hits on the homestand. The average at .319, still top 10 in the American League. Missed the outside corner, 2-1. Victor had that 2-homer game Sunday against Cleveland. And he rips this one foul down the left field line. 2-2.
One of the reasons the Marlins are becoming a factor in their division with better play and more wins as a result is their defense, especially in the infield, has not committed an error for almost a month.
Meanwhile, Martinez swings and misses 4 straight strikeouts to start the game for Conley.
Yeah, the way Conley's throwing, he doesn't need his defense.
No, but that's really an incredible stat when you're talking about infield defense. I mean, that's where a majority of your errors are going to happen, I would think.
Well, you know, you're taught as a pitcher to try to do what Conley's doing. Throw the ball over, make him hit the ball, and you would like to get a lot of ground balls. You can see right there, errors committed by the infield in 26 straight games, 0. That's the longest in Major League Baseball since 1913. That's a lot. That'll win you some games.
13 was your rookie season, right?
That was my second year.
That was your second year.
I think it was Gibby's first year.
Here's the 0-1 to Castellanos. He drives one in the air to right field. That ball is hit well, and it's going to go up against the wall. Castellanos on his way to second. He's going to take the turn. He's coming to third, and Nick has a triple.
That almost sounded like a horse race. He makes the turn. You know, that ball ricocheted off that part of right center field, and it went away from Ichiro, and then when he went after it, we'll probably get another look at it here. He bobbled the ball momentarily just as Nick was rounding second base. Just a pretty swing. That's that ball down and away. You watch Ichiro as this ball ricochets to his left, goes away from him, and then he just has a little bit of trouble fielding it right there. That little hesitation was enough for Mick to motor around to third base.
If you have even just average speed and you hit a ball to that little triangle out there, it's going to be a triple more times than not, and Nick was able to get in there. Ichiro kind of backpedaled on the carom and really had trouble with it.
So the Tigers get their first base runner.
Justin Upton, the batter. And Jay Up looks at a ball low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Upton with 8 home runs this year. The month of June has been much better for him. 21 RBIs this month. He'll drive this one out of play. And all he needs right now is a fly ball to knock in another.
Yeah, and that puts Mike Pelfrey right back in this ball game, limiting the damage after 5 consecutive hits in the second inning. Only 2 runs scored thanks to a nice double play by Miggy. And you get back into this game if you could score this runner at third with nobody out. It's almost like you wipe the slate clean and you just start all over.
2-2 on Upton. There's a shot at Pelfrey, who probably is running that second inning through his mind again.
I wish he wouldn't.
2-2 is a swing and a miss, and down goes Upton. Man, that is 5 strikeouts already for Conley.
Yeah, that was a very good pitch. Knowing that Upton is a free swinger, he buries that back foot slider to him. Let's take another look at it, and it was not a strike, but Justin just over anxious trying to drive in that run. Smart pitching.
The Tigers do not have a left-hander in their lineup tonight. Ironically, the splits are reversed against Conley. Lefties are batting, lefties are batting much better than righties are against him, which you wouldn't think would be the case. Lefties are over 300 against Conley.
I think the reason for that, and you'll see that with certain pitchers throughout the game, they should dominate against their own side, their arm side. But Conley's got such a good breaking ball that he can bury it in on those right-handed hitters. And it starts early, so the hitters think that it's going to be a fastball, and it just comes barreling in on them. And by the time they can react to it, it's already got it inside their swing.
But shouldn't that same pitch have the same devastating effect against a left-handed batter?
I just think lefties, just like most right-handed hitters, can follow a breaking ball away from them easier than that ball that comes in on them.
Oh man, swing and a miss, and the triple goes for naught. 6 strikeouts in the ball game for Adam Conley. says the only Tiger that has put the ball in play against Conley, but his one-out triple was stranded in the second. So we go to the third as Pelfrey goes back to the mound. It'll be 2, 3, and 4. Prado, Yelich, and Osuna facing the Tigers righty. And the first one is outside, 1-0.
Mike's going to face the teeth of the lineup here. He's got 2, 3, 4 coming up. Stanton hitting fifth. So he's got a tough part of their lineup, but he needs to get the guys back in the dugout. You see how fast Adam Conley's been working. And I'm telling you, all my years of experience, I know how joyful that is for the position players. See a pitcher working fast, getting you in on the field quickly. It just instills a lot of confidence in your offense because you're up there all the time.
Is it hard for some guys to work at that type of pace?
It is, and especially guys that are going to have trouble with their command and give up some hits when they make mistakes.
Bouncing ball left side of the infield. Castellanos throws him out, 1 away.
This is Mike Pelfrey in his last outing Friday against Cleveland. He pitches 4 1/3 innings of shutout baseball. Gives a couple hits up, but he did a lot better job, and maybe that'll build a little bit of his confidence. I think also getting out of that second inning with only 2 runs allowed has got to give him a little boost. And now 1 quick out here in the third.
Friday outing coming in relief against the Tribe. Now here is Yelich with 1 out. That's pulled on the ground at first. Miguel has it, and there are 2 gone. Let's check in now with the game break and Mickey York.
The center fielder, Marcell Ozuna.
Boy, those Indians, man, they've won 10 in a row. Going for 11 tonight. Osuna looks at ball 1.
A lot of people pick Cleveland because of their starting rotation and the just dominance they can have when they're all dialed in, and it looks like they're kind of getting towards that dominance a lot of people thought they could do.
Well, their situational hitting against the Tigers over the weekend was pretty good as well, but that rotation was, yeah, it was dominant. 2-1.
Look at the standings in the American League Central. You can see Cleveland starting to stretch it out. They're 15 over 500.
That's into center field. A 2-out base hit for Osuna, who is 2 for 2. Again, not hit very hard, but it found a seam right back up the middle.
Very similar to his first at bat. Didn't hit it especially hard, but just a foot off the reach of shortstop Jose Iglesias.
So now here is Giancarlo Stanton, who after his home run in the second inning is now 10 for 20 career against Pelfrey with 3 homers. That'll ride inside, 1-0.
Believe me, pitchers are aware of the guys that have had success against them, and it's always a mind game of what to throw him. How do I get him off balance? What can I do to make him not so dang comfortable in the batter's box?
Pulled on the ground and through into left field. That's a base hit. He's going to try and get to third, and he will. And meanwhile, Stanton will go to second base. Osuna all the way to third on that play. Second and third, 2 outs.
You know, that's just good heads-up base running right there. Justin Upton does not attack the ball in left field, kind of lazily goes after it, and it costs him. Costs him an extra base right there. There's no way that a left fielder should allow that to happen. You can see Osuna just looking at Upton right there, and he realizes that he got to the ball late. He doesn't have the greatest throwing arm, and he doesn't even have to slide.
He ran right in his face. And now it's second and third. 7 hits now for Miami. Here is Bohr. Strike 1 on the outer edge.
Stanton, meantime, just kept on going around first base, and he got to second once he realized that Upton was going to throw the ball to third. So you got runners at second and third where they should be at first and second. Either case, Mike Pelfrey just needs to get an out here. This is part of the game damage control where you've just got to get the guys in the dugout here and keep the game within reach.
Well, they got a couple of quick outs, 2 ground ball outs very quickly in this inning. Boras shoots one down the left field line, foul, 1-2.
Here's where you'd hope that Mike's got a put away pitch, and that split finger was a put away pitch at times. He really has trouble putting guys away with fastballs. Changeup might work, but he doesn't have one that he can command, so it's tough for him. He's got to try to get a guy to chase maybe off the plate. Boras pretty strong.
And he's been hot, 400 over his last 10 games. Missed it high, 2-2.
Those are between the major league and the minor league numbers, but 150 home runs already.
Second and third, 2 out. Marlins lead 2-0 here in the third. Sliced to center field, Maben on the run, but it's going to be the shortstop Iglesias who goes back there to the grass. And again, Pelfrey able to get that out to keep it 2-0. Time now for the home field advantage brought to you by Lowe's. When you talk about interleague play and the Tigers, well, since 06 here at home, they are 70-28 against the National League.
Nobody in baseball with a better home record for interleague play.
And hopefully the Tigers are able to continue that trend the next 2 nights. They're down by a couple of runs here as Conley goes back to the hill with 6 strikeouts in his back pocket already. Mike Aviles shortens to bunt and looks at a strike.
Every out for the Marlins been recorded by Adam Conley in a strikeout.
He's got Aviles, Iglesias, and Kinsler here in the third. No balls, 2 strikes. The ratio has been pretty good here on Conley. He's come out of the dugout throwing strikes every inning.
Yeah, it's nothing but arms and elbows. But Conley attacking that strike zone. Got a lot of confidence. Coming off a very good outing his last time out.
High fly ball into shallow left field for Yelich. 1 gone.
Let's take a look at 2 guys built body frames very similar. Chris Sale on your right from the White Sox and Adam Conley on the left. And I guess you can see why I think they have a lot of similarities. That was well done by the boys in the truck.
Boy, wasn't it? And the only really slight difference is Conley's leg kick may be a little bit higher, but the delivery was spot on. Iglesias takes ball one.
I think Chris Sale might flatten his arm out a little bit more than Conley does, but both hide the ball well when they're kind of getting into their tuck.
Conley has gone 7 of 9 in first pitch strikes through the first time against the Tigers lineup, and he's gone to 3-0 now on Iglesias.
Jose having a good month of June.
Iggy in the month of June, 337. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and he lost him, ball 4. First walk of the game for Adam Conley. By the way, school is out and summer is here. It's time for your child to join the Detroit Tigers Kids Club. Members receive a Miguel Cabrera backpack, hat, discount tickets for every Sunday home game, and a whole lot more. Visit tigers.com/kids to order. That's Kids Club to order. Tigers.com/kids club, and get your youngster involved. Now here is Ian Kinsler, who fanned in the first inning. 0-1. Kinsler had a good series the first time these two teams met to open up the 2016 campaign. He was 5 for 11 with a homer down in Marlins Park. The 0-1 is a shattered bat, and he fouled it off 0-2.
Take a look at Adam Conley's pitch usage here as he started the season. You can see that 65% of them are four-seam fastballs, 17% are changeups, and 18% sliders. So he's got 3 pitches. He uses them all. Fastball basically a pitch to get ahead, and the slider is the put-away pitch. Changeup is just to show, kind of get the guys off balance.
The 0-2 is high. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Kinsler.
That fastball looked a lot faster than 89. It wasn't clocked in the high 90s like you would think it might be, but runs it up.
Strike 3 call.
Paints away right there.
Well, Kinsler kind of looked down after that pitch, hoping he wouldn't be punched out, but not the case.
Well, he follows a high fastball, which was a pitch he tried to get Kinsler to chase, with another fastball that he just paints on the outside corner. And Foxtrack says it's off the plate, but home plate umpire Jim Wolf rings up another Tiger hitter right there, number 7.
Here is Cameron Maben. Conley this year has yet to go double digits in strikeouts. His high is 9, but man, he's on pace to go well beyond that tonight.
Are you saying he has a chance tonight?
I'm saying he's got a chance. Got 7 already, including Maben.
That little flip right there, every time I see a pitcher do that, and it's left-handers that do it, it drives me crazy, because it's all I see is a hurt arm every time a guy tries to just step off and flip underhand.
Right back up the middle into center field. There's the base hit. Iglesias hits the bag. He'll go to third, and the throw is high. It's up against the railing, and the Tigers now will have runners at second and third.
Very good base running for Jose Iglesias right there. He's going to look at Osuna the way the Marlins did against the Tigers in the previous inning. He realizes he can get over to third, and then Osuna airmails it. Pitcher's supposed to cover there, and had that ball gone in the dugout, Iglesias would have been awarded home, but Osuna right there throws it well over Prado's head, and Conley not able to back it up.
Single, and he'll advance to second on the throw. The Tigers in business now with 2 outs for Miguel Cabrera. And he'll sky one in the air toward right, slicing to the corner, and Ichiro runs out of real estate. Well, the Bernstein advantage brings you the pitcher-batter matchups. Look at Cabrera, interleague batting average since 2013. He and Victor are right up there.
I'll say it's quite a combination, and those are the two hitters that Conley's going to have to contend with here, back to back.
No balls, one strike on Miggy. Another foul back out of play, 0-2. Cabrera's average now is at .295, 16 home runs. Of course, he began his career with the Marlins and was signed by the Marlins as a youngster in 1999. The 0-2. Cabrera would not offer that breaking pitch low and in.
It's another thing about Conley, though. He's not afraid to move a hitter's feet, and it's just a subtle thing. It's not like he's throwing at anybody, but he's not letting them get all that comfortable, especially in pitchers' counts.
Did it again.
Twice he comes in hard with that breaking ball, and Miggy has to get his feet out of the way.
How important is that when you have guys like a Stanton or a Cabrera not to have?
I think it just more
fear.
than anything, it lets them know you're willing to do it, and you want the whole plate, but you're going to get the outer half a lot easier if you're able to do that once in a while.
The Tigers putting together some stress now for Conley. He's trying to maneuver around Cabrera here with 2 outs.
For younger pitchers, I think it's important to realize you have to do it against the team's best hitter, because that sends a message to everybody in the dugout.
Ball low, 3-2. The one thing we saw the Indians do against Cabrera over the weekend was pound Miguel inside quite a bit.
Miguel doing a good job of eyeballing those 3 sliders that are down and in, not really offering. It's hard for a hitter to lay off that when it starts out, but you're usually swinging over the top of that, and that's why pitching coaches try to teach you. It's called a back foot slider. You want it to break off the plate because that's under the hands and under the swing of the hitter.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Well, he got him with it, and down he goes. 8 strikeouts for Conley. That was a biggie. The Tigers still remain scoreless in Go to the fourth inning. It'll be Dietrich, Realmuto, and Echeverria. Bottom three against Pelfrey. And he drops in a breaking ball strike, 0-1.
That's Mike Pelfrey's off-speed pitch right there. He takes something off his curveball and just kind of guides it over.
Bouncing ball right side. Miggy's been busy tonight. He'll feed Pelfrey for the out. One away. Menards brings you the big money encounter. How about we flash back to June 28, 1976. 40 years ago today. Remember this, the Bird against the New York Yankees on Monday Night Baseball. He beat them 5-1 in front of better than 47,000 fans, and the Bird was on display for the whole country to see that night. What a character.
He was something. Baseball misses that guy.
Here is JT Realmuto showing bunt, ball one. That ball game took 1 hour and 51 minutes to play that night. A complete game victory for Mark the Bird Fidrych. And again, he shows bunt. That one's in there, 1-1.
What a thing of beauty. $1.56. Bird had 24 complete games his rookie year.
It's crazy.
Unheard of. You're never going to see the entire league have that many anymore.
There's a ball high, 2-1. Well, in the era of pitch counts and Tommy John surgeries, I guess no, you'll never see it again. Especially with rookies. Realmuto sends a bouncer up the middle. Iglesias has it. And there are two gone. Let's check in now with Justin White with more on the Bird. Justin?
Well, Mario and Jackie, it was 40 years ago tonight that Mark Fidrych really burst onto the scene with that electric performance against the New York Yankees. And 40 years later, people in Detroit still love Mark Fidrych and rave about his antics. And his widow, Ann, was actually here tonight for a special pregame ceremony. And I had a chance to speak with her, and she really enjoys coming back here, comes back once a year, and cannot believe how many people still recognize her and tell her how much they loved watching the Bird pitch.
Well, I believe it. Thanks, J-Dub. I really do, because he actually captivated a city like no one I've seen in a long time. Would you agree with that, Jack?
No question about it. You know, the only comparison I would think would be Fernando Valenzuela in New York. Yeah. But even Bird had outshined him for that 1 year.
Echeverria, the batter here with 2 outs. And there's a base hit to left. So another hit. This one coming with 2 outs for the Marlins.
Well, Mike Pelfrey, for the second time, gets 2 quick outs and then gives up a base hit. So he's got to work out of the stretch again. He just hasn't had the luck to have a quick inning, get the guys right back in there.
Here is Ichiro. Pop up and a ground out tonight for Ichiro Suzuki.
What's amazing again about Ichiro is his batting style. How I don't know how many of his hits have been where his feet are moving out of the box, or it seems like he's already running out of the box. And there's no hitting coach that I have ever recognized in baseball that would teach a kid how to hit like Ichiro is hitting. He bails every time, but he's somehow able to throw the hands at the ball and put the barrel of the bat on the ball. And in a lot of cases, especially with the ball left inside, he still has power to hit it out of here.
Yeah, the hand-eye coordination is just
phenomenal.
something to behold.
Off the charts.
And Echeverria draws the throw. Ichiro got to the big leagues in 2001, promptly won the MVP and the Rookie of the Year, and went on to make 10 consecutive All-Star games and win 10 consecutive Gold Gloves. He'll bail out on a pitch outside, 2-0.
Some footage of Ichiro in his younger days as a Mariner. You look at his body type, and I mean, other than the fact that he's got a few gray hairs right now, he looks the same.
He really does.
And he has to take his helmet off to show you that.
He's ahead 2-0. Inside 3-0. One thing we've always known about Ichiro, and he'll put it on display before his at-bats too, is he goes through a really pretty vigorous stretching regimen to keep himself limber.
Yeah, he takes his left hand and grabs his jersey right there every single time, points the bat, kind of like Ruth did, you know, before that notorious home run.
Yeah, they had similar physiques, didn't they? Here's the ball outside, ball 4. 2 on, 2 out now, and Saturday Baseball Night in America returns with a showdown between the Angels and Red Sox at 7 p.m. Eastern on your local Fox station. Then the Yankees battle the Padres at 9:30 Eastern in a game that you can see on FS1 or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. 2 on, 2 out. Martin Prado will step in.
Now with that walk, first walk of the game for Pelfrey, putting another runner in scoring position.
It seems like they've had men in scoring position all night, even when Pelfrey gets the first 2 out. Missed inside, 1-0.
Now this Marlin team has been hitting the ball a lot better. They're heating up a little bit, putting some pressure on the Nats in their division. Only 3.5 games behind the Washington Nationals coming into tonight's game.
Here's a good pitch, a strike, 1-1 on Prado. And they are without D. Gordon, who of course was caught with PEDs, and so he's been suspended until sometime in July. And that's a big piece of their offense. Had a great year last year. 1-1 on Prado. Inside, 2 balls and 1 strike.
I had a conversation with Don Mattingly, the manager, about his decision when he left the Dodgers, which is one of the premier jobs in all of baseball to manage. His choice to come to Miami, and he said, you know, it wasn't that hard a decision, Jack. He said, there is so much young talent in this organization. He said, I recognize that, and he says, I'm just delighted to be able to work with a lot of these guys because their upside is huge.
There's a strike on the outer edge, 2-2. Something to be said about organizations that have a lot of good young talent in terms of looking toward the future and being able to replenish the major league team. Yelich, a good example of one of their young guys who's a former #1 pick. Now Pelfrey with the 2-2. It's outside, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
68 pitches already for Mike. He's making it tough on himself. He had 2 quick outs to start this inning. Now he goes 3-2 after a base hit and a walk.
Echeverria at second and Ichiro at first. Runners will go on 3-2. And it's popped up. Back behind home. McCann trying to climb the screen. Can't get it. It's a grade A effort right there for McCann.
Ran out of the room.
Two runs on 8 hits, and the reason the Marlins don't have any more, despite the 8 hits, are the double play balls that the right-hander's been able to throw. Here's a hard ground ball. What a play there by Iglesias. Throws to first for the out. Iggy with a tremendous play at short on a hard hit ground ball by Martin Prado.
Saved at least 1 more run.
This one 2-0. They've out-hit the Tigers 8-2, and Adam Conley goes back to the hill, the second Marlins pitcher in team history with 8 or more strikeouts in the first 3 innings.
Pretty good one that he's following right there. Josh Beckett had some great years, World Championship year with the Marlins, and then went to Boston. Continued a pretty good career there. Ended up out in L.A.
Struck out the side in the first and the second, but he pitched around some trouble in the third and struck out 2 more as Victor looks at a strike. Martinez, Castellanos, and Upton for the Tigers.
Victor, one of his strikeout victims, struck out to lead off the second inning.
And it's 0-2. Conley has taken a no-hitter into the 6th inning 3 times this year. And Victor hammers one to left field. Ball hit pretty good, but it's going to be playable. Right at the warning track, Yelich. Remember that start in Milwaukee where he had a no-hitter going? In the 8th inning, 7 2/3, but at 116 pitches, Don Mattingly came out and got him.
I should have gone out and got Don Mattingly. You know, all those fans just didn't get to see history. He had a chance for a no-no. How many?
But he probably would have needed 130.
I know. They got to protect the young kid.
Yes, you do.
My goodness.
It's the way it is.
Why don't you give him the choice? Why don't you ask the pitcher?
Well, he would have definitely stayed out there.
Do you want to get a no-hitter, or do you want to come on out? Come on, sit with me on the bench.
1 strike on Castellanos. I knew you would react that way. I knew it.
Well, that's why they teed you up for it.
0-2.
Well, my take is the way this kid throws, he's going to have a couple more opportunities at that someday.
I would agree, and maybe someday soon. He's been awfully impressive tonight. Castellanos had a triple against him in the second, but they stranded him. A couple of strikeouts up to McCann. There's another ball hit well to right field. This one going to the corner. Ichiro is on the move to the wall to make the catch. Right in front of 330.
Another good swing for Nick Castellanos, but not quite enough.
That'll bring up Upton. I don't know if you remember this, but do you know how many pitches you threw in your no-hitter in Chicago?
I do not.
No.
I'm pretty sure it was well over 100 though. And if it was 117 or 118, court adjourned, I was able to survive several more years.
Court adjourned. 0-1 on Upton. So what if Sparky came out with 1 out in the 9th
would have
inning
killed him
with 135 pitches?
He would have looked like a pancake. Well, you know, at 135, Sparky might have come and got me.
Yeah.
He's not going to let me die out there, but you know, 120 was not unusual in our generation for all starters.
1-2 on Upton. That's the key phrase right there, your generation.
Yeah, and I think the only correlation is we did not have every pitch max effort. And I think that's the difference between this generation.
That's a great point, and I've heard several different pitching coaches talk about that. Not every single pitch has to be max effort, and some guys just need to learn that.
High stress pitches, you know, when you have a pitch count and it almost instills in you, I can let it go. I can just flat out crank it up every pitch because I only have to throw 98, 100 pitches, you know, and I think that's what's changed. And baseball really took an in-depth study at why there's more injuries in pitching today. It's because of the stress level of max effort, not because of the number of pitches.
That's a great point, that pitch count. I mean, guys know they have a cap. Just let it go. Here's the ball inside on Upton. The count goes 2-2 on Justin.
I think as history goes on, I think there will be a time when baseball's got to take a look at it again. You look at the careers of guys like Greg Maddux and Mark Burley and those kind of guys who really were the artists of pitching. Jimmy Key in my generation. You know, they knew the art of missing bats, and changing speeds and getting hitters off balance, changing eye levels, making them uncomfortable with pitches they should be comfortable with.
That ball was a rocket that went sizzling by Dave Clark in the coaching box at third.
I hope everybody's all right down there. There's a couple of skips.
That ball got into the seats in a hurry, didn't it?
Yeah, you've got to pay attention.
Upton has gone from 0-2 to 3-2. 2 outs, nobody on here in the fourth. Tigers down by 2 on the Giancarlo Stanton home run to center field back in the second. Just got a piece of it to stay alive. This has turned into a 9-pitch at bat now, number 10 coming up, and that has driven the pitch count up a little bit for Conley.
Yep, and Conley, all he has to do is make sure he keeps the ball down here. It's easy to lay off a high ball, but very much different story when the ball's down in the zone. Hitters will chase. Upton will chase if it's down, because you don't know the edge of that strike zone as well as you do at eye level.
Eye level, yeah, makes sense. JL pops it up. Left side of the infield, it'll be the shortstop Echeverria, and that's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Conley. To the fifth we go. On Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. And by Chevrolet, more than you expect for less than you imagine. Back here at Comerica Park, the Tigers and Marlins game 1 of a mini 2-game interleague series. Mike Pelfrey goes back to the mound, and it'll be Christian Yelich to lead it off. Yelich with a double play ball and a ground out 0 for 2.
Yelich came into the game hitting .311, 6 home runs, 37 runs driven in. Another one of the younger players that Don Mattingly thinks so highly of. Really thinks he's going to have a long, prosperous career.
Yelich is just one of 6 guys in their lineup tonight that is batting .300 or better. That'll miss low. 2 balls, 1 strike. Yelich, a former first-round pick. That was back in 2010. That's inside 3-1.
Well, Mike can't afford to walk the leadoff man here. 3, 4, 5 hitters to start this half inning.
Slice toward left field. That's going to drop in for a base hit, maybe more. Upton goes over to play it, and it gets by him. Yelich is going to round the bag at second. He'll go to third base, and he's sliding in there safely.
Well, again, an extra base given there by Justin Upton, and that may cost the Tigers a run here. Let's look at the pitch location. He gets inside, but Phillips is able to pull his hands in just enough to barrel the ball up a little bit, fought it off, and then Justin Upton not getting to it quick enough, and then it ricochets off the wall, gets by him, and that allows Yelich to round second base and easily get into third.
If he plays the carom, he holds him to a double, and now the leadoff man at third base for Osuna. Infield back for the Tigers. There's ball one, missing way outside.
For a lot of managers, those are the little things that absolutely give them gray hair and sleepless nights, because defense is something you can control and should control, and you give guys extra bases and extra outs, and the game gets delayed and slowed down, and leads to bad things. Nothing good ever happens because you give away outs.
Double E7 on that play. First error of the game for the Tigers. Now the 1-0. Little pop up to the shortstop. This will get the job done. One gone.
Great pitch right there. Better than 10 strikeouts. That broken bat fastball in. Gotta love it.
And we're going to Stanton. Well, Pelfrey was able to pitch out of a bases loaded, no out jam in the second. This, of course, was after the Stanton home run, but it could have been a whole lot worse. Now the Tigers with one out will bring the infield in.
Yeah, Stanton with a home run, 2 RBIs, and a base hit his last at bat. So will Mike pitch around him here?
Castellanos is still back a couple of steps. Everybody else in. Up and in, 1-0. Stanton 2 hits in the game, 2-run shot and a single. One ball, one strike. And Pelfrey now is about to throw his 80th of the night. Good pitch on the outer edge. A strike called. 1-2 on Stanton.
See, runs a fastball that kind of tails in over the plate, starts it off the plate. They list Giancarlo Stanton at 6'6", and he's deceiving because when you watch him,
right by Kinsler, that'll drive in a run. And Bobble now in right field. Stanton goes to second, and he's in safely.
Another base given to the Miami Marlins.
So outfield defense has not been sharp in this inning. Single RBI for Stanton. He'll advance on the air by the right fielder.
And had the infield not been playing in, Kinsler would have had a chance to get this ball, but it is hit sharply and to his left. And we'll watch Aviles in right field as he gets to this ball and then bobbles it. That's just enough for Giancarlo Stanton to get to second base. Another runner in scoring position.
4 hits a roller toward third. Castellanos gobbles it up. Runner will advance, and out at first base is Bohr.
And that was good base running. Stanton looking right at Castellanos. He's playing deep. The ball got behind him. He knows that nobody's going to be able to cover third, so he continues on. And now a wild pitch or a pass ball might score him.
Derek Dietrich will step in. Single ground out for Dietrich. 3-0. Marlins have the lead. We're in the 5th. First of a 2-game set here at Comerica before the Tigers hit the road for 11. Strike one in the inside corner. 10 hits now for Miami. He mentioned they were a team coming in that had been swinging the bats really well. 1-1 on Dietrich. Marlins winning 7 of their last 10 coming into play tonight. There's a strike on the inside part of the plate. 1-2. Dietrich didn't like it.
Yeah, I think Pelfrey just got to throw another one right there. Dietrich does not look like he wants to do anything with that ball up and in. And that one, according to Fox Tracks, off the plate, but not according to the umpire, which matters more, Jim Wolf. And they're going to repeat it again.
A little cue shot hit to third, but it's going to be outside of the bag, and the count stays 1-2 on Dietrich.
It's my opinion in general, the hardest pitch for any hitter to hit is the ball that is just below their hands on the inside part of the plate. If you've got a little bit of giddy up on it, you don't have to throw 100 miles an hour. You can throw it 90 miles an hour, and there's not a lot a hitter can do with that pitch except pull it foul. If they barrel it up, it's usually going to be a foul ball, so you get a swing and you get a strike. But you can't leave it over the plate.
Ooh, a little high, and the count now will level at 2s.
That ball ran back over the plate, but it was up a little too high. Jim Wolf maybe making up for one there.
Stanton at third with 2 outs. Took that one right out of the glove of McCann.
That was too good a pitch right there. Dietrich had a nice swing at that high fastball. You got to change eye levels, change speeds. You just can't repeat over and over and over and expect a hitter to always have the same swing. Now McCann going away.
And he missed with it. 3-2. JT Realmuto, the catcher, waiting on deck. Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss. He was out in front, struck him out.
Good off-speed changeup curveball right there.
Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. Marlins coming to Comerica Park in the afternoon to see the Tigers take on these Miami Marlins. First pitch is at 1:10 p.m. For tickets, visit tigers.com/tickets or call 866-66-TIGER. Bottom three coming up against the left-hander Adam Conley. McCann, Aviles, and Iglesias in a 3-0 ball game. Marlins on top in this one. McCann struck out in the second. And he'll look at a strike. Eight strikeouts so far in this game for Conley. In fact, the fourth inning was the first inning in which he didn't strike anybody out. He'll miss outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Conley's got a good combination going. 14 of the 16 batters he's faced are first pitch strikes. Getting ahead, attacking the strike zone.
What do they say is the best pitch in baseball?
Strike one.
Yep. And Conley's done a whole bunch of that. About to throw his 70th of the game. Swing and a miss. It's 9 strikeouts now.
Another slider right there from Conley that James McCann just cannot lay off of. It breaks down and in, off the plate, out of the zone, but they commit early. The first inning, Kinsler. Migs throws with a fastball. And then he gets Victor with a fastball, Upton with a slider. And I think that was McCann again. Just a whole bunch of them. 9 of them so far.
Mike Aviles, the batter, with 1 out. Tigers got a 1-out triple in the second, couldn't score him. They had runners at second and third with 2 outs in the third, but Cabrera struck out. Meanwhile, now it's 3-0 on Aviles. He flied to left in his first at bat. And there's ball 4. 1-out base runner. Hey, just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Second walk given up now by Conley, and both of them have been to the bottom of the lineup. Iglesias got the other one his last time up. Here's ball 1, and now he's missed on 5 straight.
Well, this is where game management becomes a part of it for a pitcher to be able to refocus and get ahead again. Throw a strike. He did it right there to even the count.
Conley this year is averaging about 8 strikeouts per 9, but almost 4 walks per 9 as well. Iglesias given time.
I think when you have a guy who has a put-away pitch, and in this case Conley's slider to right-handers is his put-away pitch, he will have a tendency to walk a few extra guys because he's going to throw it off the plate.
Ooh, that ball's belted to left field, way back, track, wall, it is gone! Iglesias jumped him. It's a 2-run shot and a 3-2 ball game.
One swing of the bat puts the Tigers within 1. Jose Iglesias got a fastball up and out over the plate. And you know, after you fall behind, like Morrow you were just talking about, you leave a pitch right down Broadway. I mean, you can't set it more over the middle of the strike zone than that right there. And Iglesias, who's been swinging a hot bat, puts a good swing on it, and the Tigers are now within 1.
3rd home run of the season for Iglesias, and the Tigers desperately needed that to jumpstart him. 3-2 ball game. And here is Kinsler, who takes a strike on the outer edge. Well, for some reason Conley just kind of lost sight of home plate. He threw 5 straight out of the strike zone, then he laid one in there, and Iglesias was ready and waiting for it. Kinsler takes a ball inside, 1-1. 393 feet on that home run by Iglesias.
That was a huge hit for the Tigers.
That's pulled to left field. That ball is hooking, and it is going to be a fair ball. Into the corner it rolls. Kinsler is on his way to second. He's got himself a double.
It almost looked like on the swing that ball had a chance to go out. 345 down the left field line here at Comerica. And now pitching coach Juan Nieves is going to come out and try to settle down for a young left-hander. See where this ball lands. It was hooking and hooking, and well, we got a third base umpire. Kind of blocked our view there. That's Gary Cedarstrom, his crew chief. But you can see it didn't even make it to the wall. And I thought that ball had a chance.
Barely fair. It's a double. The tying run now in scoring position. Only one out. So Conley, who picked up his 9th strikeout here in the 5th, suddenly now facing Maben with a tying run at second.
Juan Nieves was the Boston Red Sox pitching coach for a few years, and was replaced there in Boston by Carl Willis, now with Miami and Don Mattingly.
Maben takes ball 1. Cameron had a single in the 3rd, and now has hit in 20 of 21 home games this year. His home batting average .443 coming in. One ball, one strike. Look at the difference.
Home cooking, huh?
Home cooking indeed. .443 against .204 on the road.
To me, that's hard to explain. It really is. Other than the backdrop, the similarities in playing a lot of the games in the same ballpark, you get a good feel for it, but it's still hard to explain.
Conley was cruising, then suddenly he walked to Vilas, fell behind Iglesias, and Iglesias jumped in for a 2-run shot. Swing and a miss. That was a very aggressive swing there by Maben.
He pulled his head off a little bit, a breaking ball that you just got to keep eyeballing that till point of contact. Maben tried to lift and separate there.
Here's the 1-2. Missed inside. He laid off that pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's Cabrera waiting on deck. That'll get away from the catcher Real Muto, but not far enough. Now it goes 3-2.
And you can see that Adam Conley's starting to misfire a little bit. He hasn't thrown any breaking ball down that low, and that really missed. Good job by the catcher to block that ball and keep Kinsler at second base.
Conley's pitch count now is up to 85. Here's the 3-2. He walked in ball 4, and Maben gets a base on balls. It's a second walk in this inning, 3rd for the game.
Well, he's got 9 strikeouts now and 3 walks, so there's the pitch count in itself. Miguel Cabrera going to face his 21st pitch of this half inning, and he's going to get another opportunity to maybe drive in a Tiger run.
Strikeouts in the 1st and 3rd innings for Cabrera, and now he's up there again.
You got good speed on the base pass. Kinsler at second, Maben at first. Double could probably score 2 and put the Tigers up front.
Swing and a miss, 0-1. There's action now. It is Nick Whitgren warming up, right-hander. And their bullpen has been doing some pretty good work since the middle of this month. They've been among the best in the majors. There's a ball high and away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
They have a lot of youth out in that bullpen also, and some pretty good power arms.
One and 2.
Conley pretty much going with the fastball away for Miguel. He did get him to chase a breaking ball down and in after throwing 3 or 4 in a row his last at bat, but he's been starting him out with fastballs. Going to come back in now with a breaking ball.
That time Miggy laid off, and the count now is leveled at 2-2.
High pitch inning is the 5th. This inning right here, that will give his total to 90.
Inside, full count now, 3-2. Martinez on deck.
The base runners are ready to go.
Driven deep to left field, way back, gone. A 3-run shot for Miguel Cabrera. He got him once, he got him twice. 3rd time, Miggy wins the battle.
Let's take a look at our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. He starts him off with a fastball up and away. Goes back to it either further out away. Then it's a fastball down, a slider in, another slider in, and he leaves a changeup. He hasn't thrown a changeup all game. He speeds up Miguel Cabrera's bat, and Miggy makes him pay. Don Mattingly coming to get him, but you can see that circle change right there that's left up. And what a swing. Miguel makes it look easy. And the Tigers are winning. That's the end of the day for Adam Conley.
17th home run of the season for Cabrera. It's a wall side windows pitching change. And just like that, the Tigers are up by 2. Become the 50th player in Major League history to homer against every single team with that shot, that 3-run shot of Conley, and that has given the Tigers the lead. And for Conley, it just blew up just like that. I mean, it went kablooey.
It really did. 4 quality innings, and then struggling with his command. Nick Whitgren's going to come in and try to put out the fire here.
He will face Victor Martinez. They'll play the shift on him against as he bats left-handed, swing and a miss. Conley for 4 innings looked untouchable. He struck out McCann to start the 5th, his 9th strikeout of the game, and then his command, well, it went away from him. A walk, a homer, a double, a walk, and a homer. 1-1 on Victor. Still only 1 out in this inning.
That's part of the learning curve for a young pitcher. You've got the really good stuff, and I think it's obvious that we saw that from Adam Conley here tonight. And yet, what separates him and the elite pitchers in the game is that in-game damage control. When things start going south, to be able to reel it back in a hurry before it gets out of control. You know, 5 runs scored in 1 inning, and it was all because of 2 walks, really. It hurt him more than anything else with those 2 walks.
Well, I would imagine the game began to speed up on him with Cabrera up there and a couple of guys on.
Well, Miggy had chances in the last 2 at bats, and he finally got him. It's one thing I learned in a hurry. Don't try to trick the good hitters. And I think he tried to trick him with an off-speed pitch.
2-2 on Victor Martinez. The Tigers with homers from Iglesias and Cabrera here in the 5th inning. Mike Pelfrey has gotten some support. 5 runs to him seems like 15.
Yeah, he hasn't had a lot of run support, and now it'll be interesting to see if Mike can go out and get out number 1, strike number 1 when he returns to the mound.
Here's the 2-2, and it's popped up foul, back out of play. Martinez strike out to fly out. Castellanos waiting on deck. Teams don't shift Martinez nearly as much as they do when he's batting right-handed, but up there against the right-hander from the left side, they have that little net out there in right field, the second baseman deep. Full count on Victor.
We've seen Victor be able to shoot the ball right over the third base. Kind of just waits a little bit, beats the shift right there.
There's a base hit. So Martinez has a single. That's 6 straight Tigers that have reached. Marlins have to be kicking themselves because they got the 2-run homer from Stanton in the 2nd, and then probably loaded the bases with nobody out, and they got no more. That bought some time for the Tigers offense to get going. Here's Castellanos.
Take advantage of what's given to you, and I think Adam Conley gave him a little bit that inning. Made a mistake pitch to the best hitter in the game, Miguel Cabrera, after a couple base on balls. Pitch count started climbing.
Hook foul back in the dugout. Nick Whitgren is in the big leagues for the first time in his career. Was a 9th-round pick of the Marlins back in 2012. He hails from Torrance, California. High towering fly ball to center. Ozuna going back. Track, wall, looks up, and it's gone to dead center field. A home run better than 420. And the Tigers have added more. Two-run shot for Castellanos. That's big boy territory up there.
Well, it doesn't matter how far over the wall. It matters that it's over the wall. Fastball, a 4-seam fastball. Man, I don't know of too many pitchers that can get away with that pitch. Basically dead center, upper part of the strike zone. Zuno did not make a great effort to get to that. He kind of got in between. The ball barely gets over the fence, but it's over the fence, and Nick Castellano picks up a couple RBI.
That ball traveled 433 feet. Three home runs here in the 5th inning. Curly fries. Here's a high fly ball, shallow center field. Who's going to want it? It'll be the second baseman, Dietrich. 2 gone. So Castellanos joins Cabrera and Iglesias in the home run club.
And now James McCann will come up for the second time. He led off this half inning with a strikeout, number 9, and the final strikeout for Adam Conley. But the Tigers have since then putting their hitting shoes on.
And McCann looks at a ball, 1-0. 10th man to bat in the inning. Tigers now have 7 hits. Marlins have 10, but they're trailing by 4 runs. Down the right field line, foul. It's funny how a game can change on a dime, really.
When you have 2 good offensive teams, it can change in a hurry. Pitchers have to stay on point. They have to always have that focus, not make mistakes. You got 2 pretty good hitting ball clubs that the offense can explode here in this game.
2-1 on McCann. Whitgren played his college ball in the Big Ten at Purdue. 2-2 the count. After a year at Parkland College in Champaign, Illinois, Conley has watched this one slip away. Swing and a miss, and McCann strikes out to end the inning. However, Tigers going deep with authority. Iglesias got him on the board. Cabrera got it for a 3-run shot. And then Castellanos to dead center. With home runs from Iglesias, Cabrera, and Castellanos. And they've chased Adam Conley, the starting pitcher. Now Mike Pelfrey has the lead to work with here as we go to the 6th inning.
Well, it's so important for Mike to have a good first hitter here, to attack the strike zone, make him hit his way on, do not fall behind.
JT Realmuto looks at a strike. He is followed by Echeverria and then Ichiro. Marlins had a 3-0 lead. That came crashing down with a 7-run fifth for the Tigers. Now it's 0-2 on Real Muto. Broken bat pop up. That'll go foul down the first base line. And Real Muto will need a new bat. Pelfrey, for as many difficulties as he has had early in this game, and there have been a ton of base runners against him, 10 hits. He has really kind of stemmed the tide. He got a couple of double play balls. There's action now. Ryan and Rondon heating up.
No. You got to give him credit for battling through this. It hasn't been a pretty start. He hasn't had a real smooth inning other than the first, where he got a double play ball to get out of an error. But Mike's been given a lead, and a pretty substantial lead. He hasn't had that luxury very often this year, and I'm sure he would just love to be able to get the boys back in the dugout as quick as possible.
Here's the 0-2. Real Muto with an infield hit and a ground out. He is 1 for 2 in this game. Been a pretty good hitter on the road this year. 358. Little chopper right side of the infield. Cabrera feeding Pelfrey for the out. One gone. Time for a game break now in Mickey York.
Let's start on AT DET.
All right, Mick, here the Tigers explode for 7 in the 5th inning and lead it 7-3. Danny Echeverria will stand in. And Pelfrey delivers down the middle. Of fastball, strike 1.
Well, he's doing the right thing. He's pounding the strike zone. He went after that first leadoff hitter and got him covering his position, covering first.
Breaking ball high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two and 1. That's sliced to right field, base hit. Vilas bobbled it a bit out in right field, but it's going to be a 1-out single for Echeverria. Well, join us back here tomorrow afternoon for the Tigers and Marlins. Coverage begins with Tigers Live at noon right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Don't forget, if you can't be by your TV, there's no better way to catch the game than to stream it live on the Fox Sports Go app. Here is Ichiro. Ichiro is 0 for 2 with a walk. That's 11 hits now for the Marlins here tonight.
Well, the Tiger offense, by handing a 7-run inning there in the bottom of the 5th, have given Mike Pelfrey a chance to win this game. He is the pitcher of record.
That's hammered to right field. That's going to be a base hit.
But I don't think Brad Ausmus is going to allow Mike to get too deep of trouble here, even with the 5-run lead. And here he comes.
Yeah, that's enough for Brad. The back-to-back singles. He tried to get Pelfrey through 6, but that is the 12th hit now for the Miami Marlins in this game, and it's going to be a well-side windows pitching change. Pelfrey is out, and we'll be back to Comerica. Broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces serving around the world on land and at ships at sea. We welcome you all. Tigers putting on a show tonight. It's coming one inning, but who cares? A 7-run fifth for the Tigers, and now Bruce Rondon coming out of the bullpen.
Rondon last pitched a couple days ago against Cleveland. Pitched 1 1/3 innings of no-hit ball, trying to stop the bleeding right here. Get the guys off the field. He's got a couple outs to help out Mike Pelfrey and get the Tigers right back in the dugout.
Well, he's got to go through the meaty part of the lineup here as Martin Prado will stand in. Five and a third tonight for Pelfrey. Rondon here in the 6th. First one is low, ball 1. That was a stunning shot of downtown Detroit in the backdrop.
Yeah, that's skyline right now. The sun's hitting it, just putting a glow on all the buildings.
2 on 1 out. Prado is 0 for 3. And he pops this one up. Shallow left field. Iglesias and Upton and Maben now. Looked like Upton was calling for it. Maben called him off.
Well, the center fielder is the quarterback, and he has the right to call off either the left fielder or right fielder and take charge of this. Upton did call for it, but Maben was calling for it at the same time. And finally, Upton gave way to Maben. You can see them both putting their arms up. Main thing is to record an out. Do not both look at the ball and let it drop.
Here is Yelich. Doubled, scored a run in his last at bat. Ball 1. Tigers bullpen in their last 8 games a 1.47 ERA, and that has been one area that has improved immensely. They've got to keep it going. However, the bullpen has been throwing a lot of innings.
I think as baseball has progressed over the generations, it's so evident that the bullpen is more and more an integral part of the game. And the good teams are the teams that have a great bullpen. In this era of pitch count, starters not going deep anymore, you've got to have the arms out of the pen to shut the game down. And really, there's been teams that have revolutionized the way the game is played and shortened the game because of that pen.
Line drive to left. Yelich will drop it in for a base hit. They're going to try and score the run. Here comes the throw from Upton. It's cut off. And it's an RBI single for Christian Yelich, his 2nd hit of the game. And boy, does he have a sweet swing.
Take another look at Yelich's swing. Just keeping that head still. You can see how he was able to focus on this 99-mile-an-hour fastball. I mean, that's picture perfect right there. He was a little late on it, but he was able to shoot it to left for a base hit, and that run will be charged to Mike Pelfrey.
7-4 ball game now. 2 on 2 out. And here is Marcell Ozuna. Singles in each of his first 2 at bats. He's 2 out of 3 tonight. That is the 13th hit for this Miami offense. That's driven in the air towards center field. Here comes Maben, and he'll make the catch. They'll settle for 1 run, and we'll go to the bottom of the 6th. magic window. We want to harken back again to 40 years ago tonight. This was the Mark Fidrych win over the Yankees on Monday Night Baseball, and Rusty Staub with a home run in that ball game off the facing of the upper deck.
Yeah, that ball had to travel about 312 feet.
Wow.
And I say that tongue-in-cheek. That overhang in right field, especially down the line. I don't know if we can call it a moonshot.
Well, come on, work with us, Jack. Work with us.
Oh, that ball was so far gone.
There you go. Nice
way to go, Rusty.
The Grand Orange.
The Grand Orange.
Here come the Tigers now. It'll be Aviles in the bottom of the 6th, and the first one is inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Brian Ellington is on now for the visitors. 9th appearance of the year. Foul straight back.
Whoa.
Right below us. A little more elevation, and it could have gotten ugly.
Well, it's called an ugly finder for a reason.
Oh, wow. That ball was hit straight at me, and apparently it's an ugly finder.
Gotta have some fun, kid.
An ugly finder. Here's the 1-1. Sliced out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Aviles.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Ellington last pitched against the Cubs, and he did a pretty good job. And in 1 inning of relief, gave up a hit in an inning, no runs.
Whitgren came on to close out the 5th, and not before Castellanos got him for a home run. Now Ellington here in the 6th. And it just missed outside. Waiting on deck, Iglesias. Ellington out of Gainesville, Florida. 25 years old. Popped up. First base side, foul ground for Justin Bohr. 1 away.
This is Jose Iglesias' last at bat, and this got things started for the Tigers. A 2-run home run for Jose Iglesias got him on the board.
The real difference in this game is when you look at the hit breakdown, 13 hits for the Marlins, but 11 of them have been singles. So they've not been able to have the huge inning. Meanwhile, the Tigers have hit 3 home runs. There's the strike to Iglesias.
Earl Weaver's favorite combination, bloop and a blast.
Bloop and a blast, yeah.
Maybe a walk, a bloop and a blast. 3-run homer, says it was the best way to win a ball game.
Here's the 0-1. Tigers have been out hit 13-7. They've committed 3 errors, but they lead 7-4. Now the 1-1. In there, a strike. 1-2 on Iglesias. Justin Wilson is warming in the Detroit bullpen.
Well, with a few runs to work with, Brad Ausmus's probably going to try to piece this together with the bullpen. Everybody well rested with the day off yesterday.
Iglesias hanging in there. Ellington made his big league debut last year, pitched in 23 games for the Marlins, did pretty well, 2.88 earned run average. Although he did walk a lot of batters, 13 in 25 innings. Part of that youth in the bullpen for Florida, or Miami as they are now known. Again, the 1-2. Just got a piece of it. Top of the order, Kinsler waiting on deck. Tigers came in at 500, 38 wins, 38 defeats. They've gotten 2-3 games over 500, but have not been able to put that string together where they get 5, 6, 7 over. Another foul down the right field line.
Yeah, I really think the starting pitching has got to have a heck of a good streak. And the pitching staff in general, whether it's the starters or piecing it together with the bullpen, in order for a team to put together a consecutive winning streak and gain in the win-loss column, pitching is a huge part of it.
In the air to shallow right field. Ichiro comes over. 2 up, 2 down. Well, the Tigers host the Kansas City Royals Saturday, July 16th, 7:10 p.m. The first 10,000 fans receive a free JD Martinez bobblehead. For tickets, visit tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER. JD's still on the mend after suffering that hairline fracture in his elbow in Kansas City on the last road trip. Here is Kinsler with 2 outs. There's a high pop up right side of the infield. To the grass it goes. Dietrich runs it down, and the Tigers go 1-2-3 in the 6th. T-Mobile's greater coverage of baseball. What's going on down in the minor leagues? Well, Jacoby Jones up there at AAA now. He's hit 240 since joining the Mudhens on June the 6th. Joe Jimenez is one of those guys, Jack, that everybody's talking about. This kid was bumped up to AA. We saw him in spring training this year. He's looked awfully good.
Yeah, those numbers pretty impressive right there, as he kind of climbs the ladder in the minor leagues, heading towards the big league someday.
Yeah, some folks are clamoring to see Mr. Jimenez at this level, but the Tigers taking their time with him. Here is Giancarlo Stanton to lead it off against Bruce Rondon. The first one is in for a strike. It'll be Stanton, Bohr, and Dietrich. Rondon's 0-1 pitch is fouled back out of play.
Take a look at the face guard. Giancarlo Stanton got hit in the face, an awful injury, you know, and he has to wear this, but he's got a custom-made one. It's got a G in there.
I didn't notice it. Yeah, until you said it, I didn't notice it. So even the face guards now are being customized.
Well, you know what? I mean, if hockey goalies can have all sorts of paint jobs, why not? I think that's creative. That's kind of neat.
Good point. He should make it in a different color, like orange or something. Really stick out.
That could be a target, though.
Oh, that's a good point. The 1-2. Swing and a miss.
Good pitch right there.
Man.
Some depth to that breaking ball. You see Stanton kind of pulling off, cheating a little bit. Take a look at his grip. You can see how he pulls that slider down and how it breaks down. Stanton bailing on that one a little bit. And first out of the inning.
That has been the pitch that Rondon has really snapped off nicely. And he's going to come out of the ball game now, so the Tigers go back to the bullpen. We'll be back. Really, Jack, I guess the big story for the Tigers is that big 7-run 5th inning.
Yeah, you love to see those big crooked numbers offensively. They did that in the bottom. The Tigers did that in the bottom of the 5th inning. Stanton, of course, with a 2-run home run in the 2nd inning, and Mike Pelfrey, even though he gave up 12 hits over 5 1/3 innings and all 4 runs right now charged to him, he is the pitcher record. If the bullpen can hold it, he's got a chance to win this game.
Justin Wilson coming in, and his first one is in there for a strike on Justin Bour. Well, if the Tigers win this game for Pelfrey, it'll be just his 2nd win in his career against the Marlins. He came in 1-9 against them. 1 ball, 1 strike.
2nd win as a Tiger.
Right. On a night where the Tigers have been out hit 13-7, they lead 7-4. Wilson has allowed just 2 earned runs in his last 12 1/3, so he's been good recently out of the back end of the Tigers' pen. Now the 1-2. Ground ball to short. Scooting to his right, Iglesias. 2 gone.
Iglesias, everybody looks at him and they know what great hands he has, how he is able to do magical things in fielding the ball, but there was a great example of his arm strength. He had to let that one go, and he threw a great strike over across the diamond to Miguel Cabrera. You know, we talk about pitchers and their form, but that's pitcher perfect form for a shortstop throwing the ball. He had a little giddy up on it.
Here is Derek Dietrich with 2 outs. Ball 1. Tigers have 1 more home game, then it's 11 on the road after tomorrow. In fact, they'll play 18 of 24 on the road. Tigers only have 9 home dates in July, but then in August and September, we'll see quite a few home games.
It'll be a testing month for the Tigers, trying to get closer to the Cleveland Indians, who's having a great run as we speak.
Now the 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2. It's hard sometimes to figure out when is it too late, when is it still early. You know, you're in a part of the season now where you start to think we got to win some games, but we're not even to the All-Star break yet.
Yeah. I don't think there's any reason to panic. If you're within 5 games and you still have a month to go, a lot can happen. Another broken bat
off. Kinsler, quick throw, not in time. 2-out infield hit for Derek Dietrich.
Now, Kinsler did a good job, did everything he could do there, but Dietrich just too quick out of the box. Kinsler having to go hard to his right. He gets rid of the ball as quickly as he can, gets a little something on it, but clearly a base hit. And that bat died a hero.
It'll bring up JT Realmuto. I was looking at the latest All-Star voting numbers, and Ian Kinsler is not even in the top 5 anymore at second base. Guys like Ryan Goins and Omar Infante, who was released, are ahead of him.
Well, 2 cities that really get out and vote for their players, Toronto and Kansas City. Toronto, of course, has an entire country that they're voting for their team, and
good point.
Kansas City fans have really become very, very supportive of their team. But back to the stretch that the Tigers have coming up, they need to win the series. They just keep winning series, they're going to climb back into this thing. They'll stay over 500.
Well, after the Rays 4-game series, they'll have that 3-game rematch again with the Indians at Progressive Field next week.
The worm's got to turn sometime, doesn't it?
You would think.
I know one thing. Back in our time when a team had their way with us, we always felt like the time's going to come where it's going to bite them. And I remember clearly in 1987, the Tigers, we had our way with Minnesota. And we really went into the postseason confident that we were going to kill the Twins. And the Twins just flat out played us. They really did. I think we took them for granted after doing well, very well against them all year. And the Twins went on to win the World Series.
That one missed inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So the worm turned there at the most inopportune time.
It did, in the wrong direction. But I'm saying that the Tigers can't give up on a good Cleveland team. They're a good team right now. They've got good pitching. They've got a couple young, great players in Lindor. And they're kind of clicking, like you said, Mario. They hit the ball well in the last series.
Full count now, 3-2 on Realmuto. What's your take on the Royals? That's a team that I don't know, maybe some World Series hangover a little bit this year.
I think they've got a little bit of the mojo gone. You know, Wade Davis is their closer, but Greg Holland no longer the guy at the end of the bullpen. So I don't think their big 3 is as tough. In fact, I think the Yankees have a bigger 3 at the back end of the bullpen, and their starters, you know, their formula is to shorten the game by having their starters get the ball to the bullpen late with a win. They're just not doing that as much.
3-2 with a runner going, and a ground ball toward the left side. Castellanos in time for the out. Got him by a step. The inning is over. Coming up, the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch. Bryce Harper, Mike Trout, and all of baseball superstars come together for the primetime event that'll light up the summer. Major League Baseball All-Star Game from San Diego, July the 12th, only on Fox. Here's the latest All-Star Game balloting update, and you see second base right now is led by Altuve, which is no surprise. A lot of these guys, Jack, are no surprises, I guess.
Well, you know, Bogart's a young shortstop, and, you know, there's a bunch of them. Lindor and Correa in Houston. They're
right.
Both great players. Bradley having a great year in Boston. And Betts, of course, they both went on those extended hitting streaks. Perez, arguably the best defensive catcher in the game. David Ortiz, Father Time, getting better, like your favorite wine.
Now, how do you know I'm a wine drinker?
I'm just guessing.
Oh, okay. Here's Cameron Maybin. He'll look at a ball high. So Ortiz says he's retiring at the end of the year. Are you buying?
That's up. You know, how do you quit when you're having your best year?
I know. That's why I'm asking.
I think he could take a curtain call if money's right.
1-0 pitch. Maybin slaps it foul out of play. It'll be Cameron to lead it off, and then Cabrera and Victor Martinez. Tigers up 7-4 tonight. Based on a 7-run fifth inning, they jumped ahead of a Marlins team that came in and put up a lot of hits early. One is fouled back. I'll tell you what, this young right-hander here is bringing it. That last one at 98 again.
We talked about the arms that they have in that bullpen, and Don Mattingly very excited about the young talent. Obviously, Brian Ellington is another one of those guys that he's not going to overexpose him. He's not going to throw 3-4 innings, but for one inning, he can let it go.
Chop to third base. Easy hop there for Prado.
Here's our 1-800 call Sam call of the game. Miguel Cabrera back in the first inning. He gets punched out with a fastball pretty much down Broadway. Then he throws a breaking ball. We're talking about his starting pitcher Conley, and then his last at bat he tries to trick him. He throws his third put away pitch, which is a changeup. It sped Miguel's bat up. He deposits it into the seats for a 3-run homer, and the Tigers have been in front since.
Ball one to Cabrera. 5 of Miguel's last 12 hits are home runs, and his 3-run shot was a biggie back in the 5th. Gave the Tigers a 5-3 lead at that point, and then a 2-run shot by Castellanos later. In the air to center field on a line for Osuna. 2 gone. That'll bring up Victor Martinez. We're talking about Brian Ellington. He's a young man that had Tommy John surgery as a senior in high school. As a junior, he threw 3 no-hitters. Now, he played his high school ball in Florida. Eventually wanted to play at Florida State College in Jacksonville. But to have Tommy John in high school.
Well, it's crazy, but that's what's happening to the game. Kids are playing one sport only in Florida. In a lot of the southern states, they play almost year-round. And I'm sure it was a case where he just probably threw too much at a young age. He's going through that growth spurt where his arm is still growing, his body's still maturing. And it's unfortunate, but the good news is, with the surgery that was put on the plate by Tommy John years ago, more and more players are coming back from it, and coming back stronger than ever.
Yeah, and Ellington is a prime example.
And here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch. It's brought to you by Xfinity. You can see 99 on the heater and 86 on his off-speed pitch.
Victor is 1 for 3 in the game, a single fly-out strikeout. Tigers on top 7-4 in the bottom of the 7th. Swing and a miss. 1-2 on Victor. There's the shift that just about every team the Tigers play employ.
Yeah. Victor's just one of those players that because of his speed they're going to shift on him. He tends to pull the ball, but like I said, I've seen him many times. I know you have, Mario, even more. See him shoot the ball down the third base line.
He's going to pull that one into the shift though, but it's got to get through.
That doesn't happen every day.
That is his second hit to right field. He has beaten the shift in his last 2 at bats.
His last at bat, he hits it over the shift, pulling the ball, and this time about a 10 hopper somehow gets it between the shortstop and the second baseman, who is playing out there like a softball right fielder.
Second hit of the game for Victor. That'll bring up Nick Castellanos, who capped the scoring in the 5th with a 2-run homer to dead center field.
Nick's hit the ball hard a couple of times in this game. He tripled in the 2nd inning. So a double and a single away from the cycle. Nothing to it.
No big deal. That is 18 of 24 pitches now for Ellington that have been 95 or above. Castellanos now with 14 homers, 42 RBIs. He's going to have to get a look as far as all-star consideration. Little chopper slowly right past the pitcher. Going to be a tough play, and he is safe.
Well, there's a single, so
all right.
You're saying there's a chance.
There's a chance. He's a double away.
Meanwhile, Victor rounded second base, and nobody was at third, but did the right thing. He knows he's not going to be able to beat 2 guys over to third base, even though Bohr didn't exactly go after that ball that eluded him at first.
Two on, 2 out for Justin Upton. Popped up in his last at bat. Ball 1 high. Tigers now have 9 hits. The one stat that really sticks out on the scoreboard, the 10 men left on base for the Marlins.
Yeah, they've had their chances.
And a lot of them early when they had a chance to really bust it open, especially in that 2-run second.
Yeah, Mike Pelfrey somehow did a pretty good job eliminating the damage control early. A lot of hits for Mike today, 12. But only 4 runs came across.
Up and in, that'll spin Upton out of the box. It's gone to 3-0. And now Nieves getting on the telephone again, their pitching coach. And he's going to put the clipboard down and make a trip out to the mound. So Ellington, who came on in the 6th inning, having some trouble now as Dustin McGowan is warming up.
McGowan, a former Blue Jay. Quite the coaching staff that's gathered here in Florida, in Miami. Lenny Harris, former major leaguer, is the third base coach. Tim Wallach, considered for a long time as a potential manager, is the bench coach for Don Mattingly. Former Boston Red Sox pitching coach Juan Nieves just out to the mound, now doing the pitching coach's duties for Miami. And a guy named Bonds, Barry Bonds, is the hitting coach.
He was pretty good. Here's the 3-0. He's swinging, lines it right to third. Prado with a leaping catch. That would have gone to the corner and scored 2.
Prado is as good as there is in the game and reacts to that hard hit line drive.
Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. Bank, raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Coming to Comerica. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Great night for baseball here in the Motor City, and so far a good result. The Tigers on top 7-4 as we go to the top of the 8th inning. Tigers have a new pitcher now, and it'll be the right-hander Shane Green.
Yeah, Shane Green making his 17th appearance for Detroit. Doing a pretty good job out of the pen as of late.
So Green will face Adini Echeverria. He'll get things started here for the Marlins, and he shows bunt, ball one outside. Echeverria tonight singles in each of his last 2 at-bats, but he bounced into a key double play with the bases loaded and 2 runs in the second. 1-1. Shane Green, meanwhile, has done a nice job of really stepping into the role that Mark Lowe had at the beginning of the season, the 8th inning guy. Shane at the beginning of the year was in the rotation, then the blister problems hit. Right back up the middle. That's into center field off the end of the bat.
So Echeverria is having a pretty decent night at the plate. 3rd base hit in the last 4 appearances. Leadoff man on for Miami.
Well, the Marlins have to be kicking themselves. They have 15 hits and they're losing the ball game tonight. Ichiro will step in. Single and a walk. Ichiro trying to get to 3,000 major league hits.
Yeah, he's just 15 away to reach that magical number. Is almost a sure bet to be a Hall of Famer. Those are the active leaders right there. Of course, A-Rod would have been Hall of Fame numbers, but I don't know if you'll see Cooperstone.
Yeah, agreed. 4,263 hits overall if you count his hits in Japan. That'll back him out of there. 2 balls and no strikes. And there was much that was made of when he passed Pete Rose when you combined Ichiro's hits, but obviously many of those came in Japan.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to throw those hits under the bus in Japan, but I think those that consider Pete Rose the hit king, I mean, those were all here at the major league level, and let's face it, it's got to be harder, and I think Pete will always be the hit king because of that.
Yeah, I would agree. And you know, when you look at what Ichiro has done, you can't deny what he has done at the major league level with all the success he's had since coming over in 2001. But every single one of the Rose hits did come at the major league level. Meanwhile, 3-0 on Ichiro. And a strike call. Martin Prado waiting on deck. Here's the 3-1. Strike called. Ichiro trying to get himself a walk.
Take a look at the last pitch. And Fox Tracks agreed with home player umpire Jim Wolf. That was a strike.
Marlins need another base runner to bring the tying run to the plate. Runner goes on 3-2, slides to left, base hit.
What a jump.
That'll get the runner to third base as Echeverria moves up, and now the Marlins threatening here in the 8th.
Third baseman Martin Prado.
Let's take a look at our big boys' big play of the game. Back in the 4th inning. What a play made by Jose Iglesias. That saved a couple runs right there. Tremendous fielding play, and then a strong, accurate throw over to Miguel Cabrera to finish off an out. And that was on the hitter right there at the plate right now, Martin Prado.
So Prado, who is 0 for 4, will stand in as the tying run here in the 8th inning. 7-4. The Marlins now have 16 hits.
Well, that was a classic Ichiro hit right there. It was probably a hit and run, or a run and hit in this case. Echeverria had a great jump. He was going to get to second base no matter what because of his jump. And then Iglesias had to go to his left to cover the bag, and the ball was hit fading away from him to left field. So see this pitch in the swing for Ichiro right there. Goes down. Look at the head. Even though he's a guy moving out of the box, as soon as he makes contact, he's able to flare that ball into left field and get one hit closer to 3,000.
Prado takes ball 1. So the Marlins are 3 hits shy of their season high of 19. They've got the tying run at the plate here in the 8th. Echeverria and Ichiro. Driven in the air toward left. Upton is under it. That'll get to the warning track. Echeverria will score. The throw comes back into second base, and now it's 7-5. Give Prado an RBI, his 27th. Two-run game. It'll bring up Christian Yelich.
Prado doing his job right there. That's what they want you to do with a runner at third, nobody out. He's able to lift the ball deep enough to the outfield, plate the runner at third.
Yelich 2 hits, a single, double, and an RBI. Strike 1 on the outer edge. Yelich has been good in these spots from the 7th inning or later. A .386 batting average late in games.
Sometimes I think that's an important stat. The ability to be able to focus when the game's on the line. A lot of games are on the line late in the game. And to have the focus and not try to do too much. A lot of guys want to be a hero and overswing, chase out of the zone. But I think that number indicates that a guy's willing to stay within himself. And those are pretty darn good numbers.
The .386 is second best in the major leagues. 0-1. Ichiro jockeying down there at first base, draws another throw. We were talking about Ichiro stealing his 500th base earlier this year. He became the 8th player in Major League history with 2,900 hits and 500 stolen bases.
How many players?
8.
8.
Major League history. The 0-1. Driven toward left field. Upton is on the move. He's going to the track, to the wall to make the catch. Yelich gave it a ride, and it's going to be a little bit short. That was close. 2 gone. Here is the Chevy Silverado most dependable player. It's going to be Marcell Ozuna who is stepping in. One of 5 players in Major League Baseball leading their team in average homers, RBI, and runs scored.
I guess that's a pretty good thing, right?
Well, that'll help around contract time, won't it?
Especially if they get to postseason. I think that hitting streak there, or reach base streak, is also impressive. That means you're willing to do whatever it takes to get on base 36 times in a row. That's pretty impressive. He's had a good year.
Bender drops it low, 1-0 the count.
And when you have Giancarlo Stanton hit behind you, and you're not, and Stanton's not the number 4 hitter. I mean, Osuna's been in the 4 spot, cleanup spot all year long.
44 RBIs. He's hit 16 homers. And he ropes that one to third, but Castellanos had him played nicely. That'll end the inning. The Marlins get a run back. 7-5. '16 Esurance Major League Baseball All-Star Game ballot now at Tigers.com on your computer, tablet, or smartphone. Vote up to 35 times. Vote today, vote tomorrow at Tigers.com/vote. Tigers up by a pair as we go to the bottom of the 8th. New pitcher now for the Marlins.
Well, the Tigers should be familiar with Dustin McGowan, former Blue Jay, in his 23rd game for the Marlins. He's thrown almost 28 innings. Fairly reasonable ERA, under 3.
He'll face the bottom 3 for the Tigers. It'll be McCann, Aviles, and Iglesias. And McCann takes a strike. 0-1. McGowan won 12 ball games in the rotation for the Blue Jays in '07, but then he went 3 seasons of injury problems. Missed 3 full seasons.
Well, he doesn't ever like to use it as an excuse, but Dustin McGowan is diabetic, and it took him a while to really get his insulin dialed in properly. He was up and down literally because of that. Some of the injuries are part of the game, but he feels like some of those happen because of his issue with diabetes, and I think he's had it under control. He was a very high prospect as a starting pitcher, but has found himself more in the role as a reliever.
K-Rod warming up for the Tigers in their bullpen. Tigers a few years back had Jason Johnson, who actually wore one of those insulin pumps on the belt of his uniform. Ooh, swing and a miss, and it's a tough night for James McCann. He strikes out for the 4th time tonight. 1 gone now, and here is Mike Aviles. It's 11 strikeouts for Marlins pitching, much of those, or many of those, from Conley, the starter. Aviles with a pop-up fly out, and he's also walked and scored in a half swing and a miss. 0-1. Here is McGowan's 0-1 pitch, and Aviles takes high. Tigers went with Steven Moya in right field right when JD Martinez got injured. Moya had a couple of really good games, but then his right knee started acting up a little bit, and they've gone with Aviles the last several games now. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
And I know Mike Aviles does not want to tell anybody that he can't play the outfield, but he's a natural infielder. He's adjusted to the outfield because he wants to stay around, and he's become versatile and willing to do anything to help his team.
That break slow and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
He's played shortstop, second base, third base, left field, and right field.
9 straight games now that Aviles has played, so he's getting into the lineup a lot more now. The 2-2 rides inside, 3-2. Mike hit his first home run as a Tiger on Sunday against the Indians. Iggy on deck. And he got him, strike 3. Aviles thought he had a walk. He discarded the bat and gives Jim Wolf a crooked look.
Well, he disagrees, but you can see by that number 6 down there in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a piece of that baseball that caught that magical box.
Maybe a seam. That's about it. Here's Iglesias with 2 outs. Marlins in the 9th inning will have Stanton, Bohr, and Dietrich. And it appears they will face the Tigers closer, Frankie Rodriguez. Ground ball to short. Echeverria has it. It'll be a 1-2-3 inning for Dustin McGowan. Here we go to the 9th. The Miami Marlins as we go to the ninth inning. It is 7-5 in favor of the Tigers, and the closer is on Francisco Rodriguez.
Well, they're looking to him to close it down again in his 30th game. K-Rod's been pretty good. 20 out of 22 save opportunities. Only 9 walks and 28 strikeouts. So Tigers depending on him to get the job done here again tonight.
And it'll be Giancarlo Stanton to lead things off. Stanton, Bohr, and then Dietrich. First one on the way is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Just 1 for 7 against K-Rod. 4 strikeouts. Not much success. Frankie has converted 20 of 21 opportunities since early April. That has popped up. First base side. Cabrera has room. Oh, it almost ate him up.
Stayed with it.
Let's check in now with Justin White with a preview of tonight's Tigers Live.
Yeah, Mario, this game completely turned around in that 5th inning when the Tigers hit 3 home runs. We'll recap it all for you coming up after the game on Tigers Live. I'll be chatting with Nick Castellanos, and you'll hear from Tigers manager Brad Ausmus as well. Mickey York is in the Coliseum studios alongside Craig Monroe and Rod Allen. After 2 more outs, guys, back to you for now.
All right, Justin, thank you. Look forward to it. Here is Justin Bohr. Strike called on Bohr. He didn't like that one. Has a funny look for Jim Wolf.
Jim Wolf's got a lot of funny looks tonight.
He really has.
But the good news is he's been consistent on both sides. I don't think he's favored one team or the other over the other.
And most of the time when we check with Fox Tracks, the calls have been correct. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Little chopper down the first base line. You know, umpires these days, Jack, I mean, everyone's looking at him. You've got instant replay, you've got Fox Tracks, and, you know, they're being just evaluated at every turn. That's got to be tough.
Well, they're humans, and they're going to make a few mistakes. And all you really want to do is make sure that their strike zone doesn't change. It can't be a pitch in the same spot that is called a strike one time and a ball another time, because both pitchers and hitters get annoyed with that.
Frankie with a strikeout, and there are 2 gone. Here's the upcoming matchup presented by Gordon Chevrolet. Top Kohler tomorrow against Daniel Norris in a day game. A quick turnaround.
Yep. Get a good night's sleep, and we'll be right back here. Daniel Norris looking for his first win this year.
Here is Derek Dietrich. Last chance for the Marlins. Fans on their feet. Swing and a miss. 0-1.
Well, for those younger hitters that haven't seen K-Ride, it's all motion nowadays. Great changeup, still able to command it, and Dietrich way out in front of that first pitch changeup.
$30,808 in attendance here tonight for Game 1 in this interleague series. K-Rod trying to put the finishing touches on it, leading 7-5. 2 out, nobody on in the ninth. Way outside. 2-1 the count. Ball 3. The Marlins need a base runner to bring the tying run to the plate. JT Realmuto waiting on deck. The Indians have already won tonight, stretching their winning streak to 11 straight. Here's the 3-1. He walked him. So that will indeed bring the tying run to the plate. Two out base on ball. And Brad telling Miggy to play behind the runner at first base. Here is Real Muto.
Now they're going to play him straight up in the infield. Iglesias and Kinsler back on the grass. Both Miggy and especially Castellanos guarding the line for that extra base hit.
Strike one right at the belt. Rodriguez got a pop up and a strikeout to start the inning. Runner goes, and it's driven in the air toward left field. It'll be playable for Justin Upton. The Tigers win tonight. A comeback 7-5 win for the Tigers. They scored all 7 of their runs in the 5th inning. Tigers Live coming up. Stay with us. We'll be back.